Alexis Joy from Alexis Joy VIP Access. I am so thrilled to be chatting with you today, and congrats on all of
Thank you.
the remarkable success with your career.
I know I'm super stoked. Thank you for having me. I love talking about my music and kind of bringing that into action and letting people know kind of what I'm up to and kind of the future of what's in store for the rest of my music.
Yes, and there's a lot of excitement coming up. Now, before we talk about all of your upcoming projects and things that you have in the pipeline for fans to look forward to, first off, can you tell us what inspired you to even focus your life around music?
So that's a really good question. I've actually been asked to by a lot of my buddies and stuff, but shout out to my manager Mark. He's the greatest manager in the world, and he reached out to me almost 2 years ago today, and was like, "Yo, dude, like, I feel like you could do music." And I've always been influenced by punk rock. My parents were both in the music industry growing up, and my dad's still in the music industry, and he always forced heavily on punk rock and classic rock to me. So I've always had that kind of ingrained into my blood and grew up on that type of music. And I always knew deep down, like in my intuition, like I wanted to do something with music, but I wasn't quite sure what that was going to be or if I was even going to be an artist in the first place. But, having my parents be in the industry and put that upon me, I was like, maybe I should try this out. So Mark reached out to me. He's like, hey, look, if you want to shoot me some demos, I feel like you could do something in the punk rock scene. I was like, let's do it. So I put together some crappy demos from I was working with this producer in LA that we just put together some like mediocre at best level demos, and I shot him to my manager, and he was like, dude, I think we have something here. So we spent the last year and a half in and out of the studio shooting music videos, doing live shows at the Whiskey A Go Go, the Viper Room, all these really iconic venues, putting bands together and like really going at it as hard as we can. And that's kind of been the story the last year and a half. And like I said, we're just getting started. Like we've hardly touched where we even want to be. So
That is so amazing, so exciting. We're all so happy to be on this wonderful musical journey with you. And already it's off to such an incredible start with you performing at Whiskey A Go Go, which is an iconic venue.
yeah,
It's so awesome. Now, as
amazing. I know.
mentioned, and as you know, since punk music has been such a big part of your life, there's a lot to it from the aesthetic to the actual
100%.
music itself. So tell us what punk music means to you and how you're incorporating that into your work as a punk artist.
No, for sure. So punk rock means to me, for me, I'm a very visual artist. So the music's one thing, right? You have the music, you have the vibe of the music, the loud drums, the electric guitar, the crunchy guitar, the whiny vocals. But for me, being a visual artist, I like to tie that in with kind of my brand and my image. And I like to, I grew up in Manhattan Beach, surfing and skating, growing up in high school. Kind of that's all I did, which is, do stupid shit with all my friends. And to me, I like tying in that, that skater aesthetic, that Southern California surfer boy aesthetic to the punk rock scene, because to me, that's who I am, right? I surf all the time, and I want to tie in kind of those visuals with the loud, energetic choruses and the catchy hooks that pop punk brings to the music industry. But punk rock to me means kind of the word I like to describe is like insanity and chaos, because there's really no boundaries, right? I feel like you can kind of do whatever you want and get away with it. You don't have to be in this narrow box and kind of stuck in this one position. You can kind of branch out and do, really amazing things and quirky things and kind of get away with it, because punk rock is an immaturity based kind of genre of music where people don't really give a fuck and you can kind of do whatever you want. But to me, being visual is super important, right? I like to tie in high energy videos and aesthetics and fun little promo stuff to my social media accounts and really hook in that audience and kind of, entice them to kind of the image that I'm trying to create. And that's Travis with an X.
That is outstanding. Yes, we love all of your social posts. Everything is just getting us
Thanks.
excited for
Yeah.
more and more to come. And
Oh
you have
yeah.
great presence both on and off stage. So we love what you're bringing to the punk music industry and
Awesome.
genre as a whole. Now, you've
I
released
appreciate
a lot of musical masterpieces thus far. What has been your favorite one to create?
That's a really, really good question. I love all my music. I'll say I have favorites. I want to say my favorite song so far is in terms of like just the ambiance and like the chorus would be Just a Mess, which was my latest release. But I'm gonna have to pick Downhill. That was my first single ever released, but it took like 15 mixes and so many tweaks to get it where we want. Me and my manager were just sitting there, just like, nope, it's not right. This is wrong. We got to have it remixed, this and that. We were nitpicky about pretty much everything. And we finally got back that product that we really enjoyed and has that very like I don't know how to describe it. It has like an anthemy feel to it. You know, it's a very simple chorus. I mean, all you're saying is it's going downhill, but it has like that very bright energy that pop punk brings to music. And obviously I love Justice. I feel like that hook in itself is really well written. And a lot of the times, you know, I write all my music on this desk in my room by myself. And it's fun to do that. You know, the music that we have coming in the future is a whole nother level that we'll get into later with this interview. But yeah, I would have to go downhill. I just feel like that took so much nitpicking for me and my manager, and especially also my engineer, Matty J. I mean, we were just couldn't figure out what we wanted out of it, but we came out with the product that we were happy with.
That is outstanding. I know all of your music, we can tell and we can really hear how much hard work you put into it and how much your team puts into it. So it's so amazing. Now, we talked about what your favorite one was to create, but what's your favorite song to perform?
Ooh, it's a great question. I'm gonna have to go. I already know the answer. It's Devil in Disguise. I feel like that intro instrumental is so high energy and it hits so hard with the fans, and especially it starts off just so fast and high energy, and people are just like, whoa, what the fuck? It's like dun, dun, dun. I mean, I kind of lose myself on stage when I perform that one. A lot of high energy movements, jumping around, you know, grabbing the mic and doing all those things. But definitely Devil in Disguise. I have the most fun performing that one. And I feel like that was the first song of all my sets in the past 4 or 5 live shows. So definitely that one for sure.
That's terrific. And everyone who's watching this interview with all of the upcoming performances Travis has coming up, everyone needs to go out and see it because it's a one of a kind of experience
Yeah,
to be able to see you live.
I know it's fun. It's, you know, we try and bring back that early 2000s feel to the live stage and the live show. And I feel like this genre has a massive resurgence right now. I feel like it's so hot right now. There's so many festivals going on all over the country, you know, internationally in the UK and Australia and Canada, all these amazing things. So, I mean, obviously the end goal for me and my team is to tour, you know, get on some tours with some bigger bands and really hit the road and play all these festivals. So that's kind of what we have aimed for the next couple of years.
And we have no doubt that we'll be seeing you at all of these big festivals. We're so excited for that future.
Yeah.
Come very soon. Now, as we've been talking about your performances, you've been killing it on stage. You have such a magnificent stage presence. Now, what are some of your pre-show rituals before a performance?
Ooh, that's a fun question. I've honestly never been asked that question, so that's a first. But I would have to say, I mean, obviously hanging out in the green room with the band, I'm very just like, are you guys ready? Like I'm super on them. Like, yo, double check everything, make sure the sound, make sure your guitars are tuned up, everything. But I don't know. I like a little time to myself. I like to go through each song by myself. Like I kind of sit in the corner and mumble it just to make sure, you know, I know where I want to, how I want to sing it, how I want to start. And I'll go through, you know, if we're doing 8 or 9 songs in the set, you know, I'll go through each one in exact order of how we're going to go. And I'll just do it a cappella to myself and just make sure, you know, I don't forget any lyrics. That can happen. But just to make sure that I'm ready to go. And I practice a couple jumps because I start the set just jumping up and doing like acrobatic stuff. I feel like that's the high energy that I bring to the stage. But, you know, just kind of prepping myself a little bit before I go on, warming up the vocal cords a little bit, sipping some hot tea, drinking some water, and then I hit the stage and we're ready to go.
Excellent. And that's where the magic happens, right on the stage, or also where you are right now when you're creating all of your songs. But with whatever you
Yeah, exactly.
nice. Well, with whatever you do, whether you're creating music, whether you're in the studio recording it, whether you're on stage, we can tell how much passion and hard work and dedication you put into
Yeah.
everything you do. So, again, the biggest congratulations to you because you're killing it.
Thank you so much. That really means a lot. And to me, this has been the most amazing journey of my life. Just the last year and a half, just what we've been able to do and accomplish is just, I mean, me and my manager, we work at warp speed 24/7. We have ideas that are just bombarding our brain, and I'm always doing you know, what I can and trying to do the most that I can, you know, whether it's reaching out to videographers in LA to shoot more content, to get more photos, to get more real stuff for all the social media stuff, or if it's just me calling my manager at 12 at midnight and talking about the game plan for the next 3 months. I mean, you know, I couldn't do anything without him. We're like brothers at this point, and I feel like we have so much we want to do, and we're just taking it one step at a time and going as hard as we can 24/7. So
That's excellent. Now, as we've talked about, we love keeping updated with you on social media. And we
Yeah.
saw that you recently released a video for Tell Me Something. What was the creative process like making that song? Because it's, again, another one of your jams.
Yeah, so again, I wrote that song maybe a year ago, again in my room, and I got sent an instrumental beat from my producer. We went over it, and that song honestly maybe took me 15 minutes to write. I heard it and I was like, whoa, I feel like I know what I do. And I start piecing together the lyrics and structuring it the right way. And I feel like that hook hits so hard. And that video that I did on Instagram for that was a fun little video that we did. I shot with my buddy Ethan, who's a videographer out in LA, and we just shot that. And I like to keep everything very high energy and engaging to the audience. But yeah, that song is super fun, and I love bringing visuals to all the songs that I create. So it was super fun. I love that one.
Yay, fantastic. Well, we can't wait for many more. Now, Travis, if you could collaborate with any musician on a future song, who would you like it to be?
Oh my God, such a good question. I think about this all the time. There's so many. There's literally so many. And I'm not going to say Blink 182 just because that's a little cliche, even though they're one of my favorites. But if I'm going to have to do any of, I'd probably go with, man, that's really tough. I'm like literally fighting like 20 different bands, but I'd probably have to go with Green Day. Honestly, I feel like they're so pioneering. I have a signed Dookie poster literally in my room with Billy Joe Armstrong, Trey Cool, and the rest of the guys. But yeah, I'd have to go with Green Day. I love their sound. It's more that old school 80s punk vibe, but I feel like Green Day is so revolutionary to punk and kind of modernizing punk. That I'd love to do a song with them. They don't really do many collabs, honestly. So hoping to,
Hashtag it on social media and make that happen. We would
yeah,
love to
just
see it.
exactly. No,
Make
for sure.
the social media movement for sure. We can't wait. One day we'll see that happen.
Yeah,
Scott,
totally.
I have to ask you, what is your favorite song lyric that you've written?
Probably the chorus to Just a Mess. When it goes, last year was a train wreck. This year I'm just a mess. Because I feel like it relates in the sense where when you have so much shit going on in your life and you have so many issues and you're, fighting so many different types of things. Like, last year could have sucked for whatever reason, and this year might suck even worse, but you got to keep going. You got to keep fighting through that. Life's a mental game. And I feel like now being a musician and really tying in my art to my life, because it is my life 24/7, I feel like you're always going to go through shit no matter how high the highs are and how low the lows are, but you have to be ambitious and you have to fight through that because, at the end of the day, we're all going through our own shit. And I feel like just persevering and fighting through it and not giving up is the most important thing.
Love that. Absolutely love that lyric. It's so true. I mean, we all are going through things in life, but having
Yeah.
music like yours as well is what helps us get through it too. So
Yeah,
we thank you
totally.
for
Hope
it.
so. Exactly.
Now,
Yeah.
as we talked about, we know that you're working on a lot of amazing things. What are some upcoming projects you're working on that fans can stay tuned for?
So we have an amazing project that we're in the works right now, which I actually have a Zoom call after this with the band for 4 hours. So I'm working with this band out of Canada called Sucker Punch. They're an up and coming pop punk band that's doing really, really well. They're incredible. Their sound is unbelievable. Shout out Terry and Fred, the guys at Sucker Punch. They're an amazing team. Their production and songwriting is on a level that I have not seen before, and they're killing it. So we're writing a few songs with them. I'm working with their production team, and we're working on a handful of really good singles, and then also a few more collabs that I'm gonna not mention now, but I will in the future that we're working on. But next 2024 is gonna be the best music I've ever put out in my entire life times 10. So super fun stuff. We're writing a song right now called 1999, which basically emphasizes Warped Tour in the 90s, and it's such a fun pop punk vibe song and nostalgic, and I'm super stoked. And I feel like the next 2, 3, 4 months is really just us putting together the best music that we can, and then by the tail end of next 2024 spring and summer should be some amazing stuff for everybody. So I'm really excited.
Well, we cannot wait. Words can't even begin to describe how excited we are. Again, you work so hard and bring out all of these musical masterpieces, so we can't
Yeah.
wait to listen to them on constant repeat. And lastly, Travis, if you could bring out one message to all of your fans, what message would that be?
My message to most people when they ask me for things like that, I really would say, just you got to be patient. I feel like for me, I'm not a patient person, But through this process and through this journey, you know, be patient and things will happen, and you just got to work hard. And for me, being, you know, in the pop punk scene, I'm meeting so many amazing people and being, you know, networked through all these cool artists and different photographers and musicians and band members. And it's a whole process that you just have to be patient. But pop punk's here to stay, and I'm really, really excited for the future of this music and how it's revolutionizing, you know, what it was made and how it was done in the 90s and early 2000s. Because I feel like people are starting to really like this genre again, and it's coming back, you know, as strong as it ever has been. And I'm excited to see everybody in the near future at all these festivals, because that's the end game plan, and I'm super stoked for that. So
We love that, and we are so happy that you are such a big part of its resurgence back into this world and continuing the pop music
yeah,
legacy. So,
yep, of
Travis, thank you so much for chatting with me. I had an absolute blast, and I'm so
course.
excited for all of your new
Thank you
projects.
so much for having me. It was an amazing interview, and it was amazing talking to you. So I'm really excited to see where the music goes, and I'll keep you guys updated for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I can't wait to catch up. We can talk more about the collaborations you hinted at,
Of
ones that
course.
are coming up. But
Of
again,
course.
congratulations. And we can't wait to continue to listen to your music on repeat. Thanks, Travis.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alexis. I'll talk to you soon.